Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a question that has intrigued fans for years. Are Liam and Noel Gallagher English or Irish? These are two legendary figures from Oasis that become symbols of British rock culture, but their heritage tells a much richer, more complex story. The truth is, it's not just about where they were born or where they made their name. It's about the layers of history, culture and personal identity that have influenced who they are today. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into their family background, the concept of nationality and how their Irish and English roots collide in a fascinating way. By the end of this, you'll understand how Liam and Noel embody not one, but two powerful national identities. And maybe you'll even start thinking about your own in a new way. What is nationality? A concept. Before we dig into Liam and Noel's story, let's take a moment to think about nationality. It's a concept where we hear all the time, but what does it really mean? On the surface, nationality refers to the country where you're born, where you hold your citizenship, or the country you identify with legally. In simple terms, it's where your official papers say you're from. Your passport, your birth certificate and other documents that say, this is where I belong. Now here's the interesting part. Nationality isn't always just about where you were born. Some people can hold nationality from a country that their parents or even grandparents came from. This is called citizenship by descent. So even if you were born in one country, if your parents or grandparents are citizens of another, you might be able to claim that country's nationality as well. This is exactly the situation we find the Gallagher brothers, and it's what makes their story so fascinating. So for example, if your father or mother was born in Ireland, you might have the right to Irish citizenship, even if you were born in England or the United States. And that's exactly what we're talking about when it comes to Liam and Noel Gallagher. They were born in England, but their father was born in Ireland, so they can claim Irish citizenship as well. Let's rewind to where it all began. Both Liam and Noel Gallagher were born in Manchester, England. Liam in 1972 and Noel in 1967, but their father Thomas Gallagher was born in County Mayo, a region in the west of Ireland. Thomas moved to England in the early 1960s, where he eventually met their mother, Peggy, and settled in Manchester. But despite leaving Ireland, Thomas never lost his Irish roots. County Mayo is known for its rugged landscapes, rolling hills and a rich, deeply rooted cultural identity. This is the environment in which Thomas grew up. Mayo, like much rural Ireland, has a history of both beauty and hardship, with many families emigrating to England in search of work and a better life in the 20th century. So Thomas Gallagher's move to England was part of a much larger wave of Irish migration during that period. But while he made a new life in Manchester, his Irish identity was always with him. And that's what we see in Liam and Noel. Their father passed down the Irish pride, and it's something that the brothers have both referenced in interviews. For example, Liam has often been vocal about Irish heritage, even saying, "I'm Irish, don't let anyone tell you I'm not." And Noel, although perhaps a bit more reserved about it, has also acknowledged how important his Irish roots are, even if it's not something he talks about as often as his English identity. So even though the Gallagher brothers have Irish roots, Manchester is in their blood. Manchester is a city known for its music, football and its working class roots, and this city played a massive role in shaping who they are today, personally and musically. Manchester is a city with a deep cultural history. It's home to some of the most important musical movements of the last century, including the rise of Britpop in the 90s and of course Oasis. This was the environment that raised Liam and Noel, a city that embraced rebellion, individuality and a working class pride. And that's reflected in their music. Oasis's sound from Wonderwall to Don't Look Back in Anger resonated with people across the UK because it spoke to the struggles and trumps of everyday life. Being born in England, specifically in Manchester, gave the Gallaghers a sense of identity that's deeply tied to the city. Manchester's identity is shaped by its industrial past, its resilience and its scene of being different from the rest of the UK. The Gallagher brothers in many ways embody that Mancunian spirit, the same one that you hear in the bands like Stone Roses or the Smiths. Their music isn't just a product of English culture, It's a reflection of that working class Northern English defiance. So, are Liam and Noel Gallagher English or Irish? Well, the truth is, they're both. They were born in England, but because their father was Irish, they have the right to claim Irish citizenship. This makes them a perfect example of dual nationality, a situation where someone holds citizenship in two countries based on their heritage. Let's break it down. They were born in Manchester, England, so they automatically have a British citizenship. But because their father Thomas was born in Ireland and the brothers are also eligible for Irish citizenship by descent, in fact, many Irish immigrants who came to the UK like Thomas Gallagher passed on their citizenship rights to their children, even if they were born in England. This concept of citizenship by descent is something many people with Irish roots can claim. Dual nationality is a powerful thing. It's not just about having two passports, it's about belonging to two cultures, two histories, and two identities. And that's exactly what Liam and Noel have. They are English by birth, but their Irish roots are always present, and that's a big part of who they are. So, what does this all mean for their music? Well, for Liam and Noel, nationality is intertwined with their identity as artists. Their Mancunian roots are deeply embedded in their music. Oasis's sound, brash, loud, and British, speaks to the working class ethos of Manchester. But at the same time, there's a kind of romanticism, a pride, and an edge to their music that can be traced back to their Irish heritage. Oasis's music was and still is anthemic, but it was also personal. The themes of rebellion, defiance, and longing are deeply connected to both English and Irish histories. On one end, you have the Irish legacy of struggle and pride, and on the other, the working class angst of Manchester. Those two elements combined to create an iconic sound that spoke to a generation. Ultimately, nationality isn't just about where you were born or what your passport says. It's about the layers of identity that make you who you are. For Liam and Noel Gallagher, their nationality is a blend of both English and Irish influences, shaped by their family and history and their upbringing in Manchester. While they were born in England, their Irish roots are never far from the surface, and even though they may identify strongly with the working class culture of Manchester, and the Irish side of their identity is just as important. It's this mix that has shaped their music, their personalities, and their careers. So, are Liam and Noel Gallagher English or Irish? The real answer is that they're both, and that's what makes their story so unique. Born and raised in Manchester, they embody everything we think of when it comes to British rock. Brash confidence, working class pride, and a rebellious edge. But beneath that Mancunian swagger lies a deep connection to Ireland, a heritage of storytelling, resilience, and a fiery passion that shaped their music and their personalities. Think about it. Their English upbringing gave them their attitude, their accent, and their connection to Britpop, but their Irish roots that gave them heart, depth, and that touch of poetic soul you hear in their lyrics. Together, it's a mix that created music capable of moving millions, and a legacy that still sparks debates today. And that's why we're still talking about Liam and Noel Gallagher all these years later. It's not just their music, it's their identity, their personalities, and the fact that they make us feel something real. Whether it's through Liam's raw energy on stage or Noel's introspective lyrics, they've created a connection with fans that spans generations. What's even more incredible is how their dual heritage reflects their modern world. So many of us come from mixed backgrounds with family histories that stretch across borders. Liam and Noel's story is a reminder that identity isn't about choosing one thing over another, it's about embracing the complexity of who you are. But now it's over to you. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the Gallagher brothers' Irish heritage shaped their music and personalities more than their Manchester upbringing? Or do you think their English roots took the lead in defining their iconic sound? And here's a fun question. Are you Team Liam or Team Noel? Or just both? Are you all about Liam's charismatic frontman energy, or do you vibe more with Noel's genius songwriting and cool composure? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading every single one. If you enjoyed this video, I've got so much more in store for you. This channel is all about exploring the stories behind music, diving deep into the artists, the culture, and the history that shapes the sounds we love. So if that sounds like your thing, hit the subscribe button right now and join this amazing community. And don't forget to turn on the notifications by clicking the little bell icon. That way, you'll never miss a new video. Also, if you've got any ideas for future videos, maybe other artists you want me to cover, or music topics you're curious about, drop your suggestions in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and keep building this channel together. Thanks for hanging out with me today and taking this journey into the world of Liam and Noel Gallagher. Whether you're here for the music, the history, or just drama of two brothers who can't stop arguing, I hope you've learned something new and had some fun along the way. Until next time, keep listening, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.